Hi, I'm Gee and welcome back to my series of Winter Warmers. In this video I'm going to show you how to cook a delicious Moroccan chicken tagine with orange and coriander couscous. To my pan I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil and start my onions cooking. I just want these to become nice and soft. We don't really need any colour on them. So my cooking is all about minimum effort but maximum flavour. Now you can brown off your chicken first, take it out of the pan, add your onions, take those out and add each element bit by bit. But to be honest with you, doing it all in one pan and in this order works just as well, and it's just a little bit less washing up and a little bit less effort. So my onions are starting to soften, and then I've got a red pepper just finely sliced. Again, you don't have to add this, or you can add a green one, or you can add a yellow, whatever you've got really. The nice thing about this is you can make it up as you go along a little bit. This dish is perfect as a winter warmer. It's got lots of spices in it that naturally warm you up. And the couscous is a delicious alternative to those heavier, slightly stodgier accompaniments. So now my onions and peppers are slightly soft, I'm going to start adding my spices. I've got a cinnamon stick here that I'm just going to break in half. That can go in. Then a little bit of ground coriander. Now there are hundreds of ways and hundreds of different spices you can use in making a tagine, but these are my favourite. And a little bit of cumin. And then for a really different flavour, a bit of smoked paprika. You can add saffron if you've got it, but I think this is a great alternative and adds a real depth of flavour. You can either get it hot or mild. I've gone for the hot one, but because it is winter and I like a little bit of spice, I'm going to also add a pinch of chilli flakes. Again, you can use fresh if you've got it to hand. I think the nice thing about winter warmers is that if you can use stuff from the store cupboard that you haven't had to go and traipse out in the cold to go and get, so these spices are perfect. All the ingredients you'll need can be found in the description box. So now my spices are nicely toasted off and you can really smell that paprika, cumin and coriander. I'm going to add a few slices of garlic. And then cherry tomatoes. You can use tin, but I think this adds a real freshness. They're just cut in half. And as they heat up, they'll pop and all the juices and seeds will come out and make a lovely rich sauce. And then simply to that, chicken thighs, I've just skinned and deboned them and then simply cut them in half. They can go in two. Now the nice thing is to add your chicken into it while the pan's still quite dry, because then all those spices will cling onto the flesh. And then to give your sauce a helping hand, a little bit of chicken stock. These are fresh dates that I've just stoned and cut into quarters. They add a beautiful sweetness and sort of melt down into the dish. So I'm just going to give everything a little bit of a season, a bit of salt and a bit of pepper. You can adjust this at the end, so don't go too mad. One last stir. So you just want to cover it with a lid and leave it to simmer away gently for about 30 or 40 minutes until the chicken is beautiful and tender. So to go with my tagine, I'm going to make a delicious orange and coriander couscous. Now couscous is one of those things that if you haven't been a little bit experimental with it, you'll probably hate it. On its own and made with boiling water, it's dull and boring and tasteless. So it needs a bit of a helping hand. So first of all, a little bit of salt and a bit of pepper. And then I'm going to put a bit of orange zest in. You can use lemon if you've got that lying around. And then the juice of the orange as well, we might as well use it all up. And by adding the flavours now, they start to absorb them as they cook. If you add flavours afterwards to couscous, once it's all fluffed up, it takes a little bit more time for everything to absorb the flavour, so I like adding it in now. And then just to help with keeping the grains separate, a little dash of olive oil. You don't need too much. Give it a bit of a stir around. And then this is chicken stock. Most people make couscous with plain boiling water, but again, it's tasteless. Now, I do a little bit of a cheats method of measuring couscous to water. If you just start to pour it over, you want it to come about 1 centimetre from the top. So I'd say that's about right. I don't like measuring it because I can't be bothered. So I just put it in 1 centimetre over the top and then literally cover it with a bit of cling film and wait for all those delicious flavours to be absorbed. And that is nearly your couscous done. Afterwards, I'm going to add a few flaked almonds and a little bit of coriander. But so far, that's all you have to do. There's no putting it in a microwave, no putting it on a hob. It's as easy as that. So my couscous has absorbed all that water and orange juice. I'm just going to take the cling film off and use a fork to sort of fluff up the grains. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil, not too much. And then my last few ingredients, a few flaked almonds can go in. Again, you can leave these out if you want. And then a bit of coriander. You can use parsley or chives if you like. It really is up to you. And if you like this recipe and want more, click on the subscribe button. So that's my couscous done, and now back to my tagine. You can really smell the smoked paprika and cinnamon now. So you can see that the sauce is quite watery still. But what I'm going to do is add a little bit of beurre manier, which is equal quantities of butter and flour mixed together into a paste, and you can use that as a thickening agent. All you need to do is stir it in and allow the butter to melt, and then just give it a quick bubble for a minute or two to cook out the flour. This is my favourite way of thickening sauces rather than flouring meat as you fry it at the beginning of a recipe. So I'll just bring that up to a bubble to cook out the flour. At this stage, I'll just check your seasoning to see if you need a little bit more salt and pepper. But I think this for me is ready. So whilst that's having a final bubble, I'm just going to put some of this delicious couscous into my bowl. This is a perfect winter recipe, and I love eating winter stews out of a bowl because then you can add extra bits of sauce. And then you can serve it with a final sprinkling of coriander, and if you really want to be indulgent, a dollop of creme fraiche. And there you have it, a really simple Moroccan inspired chicken tagine with orange and coriander couscous. I hope you can join me for my next episode in my Winter Warmer series.